Hi everyone. Hello, hello. I see people joining. Settle in, settle in. Guys, can you guys let me know in the hold on, let me disable the chat box. Can you guys let me know in the chat box if you can hear me loud and clear, if you can see my screen, and if you can see me, if my camera is turned on? Loud and clear, but no camera. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, my video is actually on. I just don't know why it's showing a blank screen. I don't know how to fix this problem. It's the same problem as yesterday. Hi, Salvador. Welcome back. I'm gonna turn off the camera so that it's not streaming and I'm not using so that it's streaming better. I'm not wasting data on that part. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know how to solve this either. If anyone has a clue how to solve my camera problem, let me know. I click on the video and I click integrated camera, which is the camera on my laptop, and it just shows a blank. It just shows nothing. Very strange. Anyways, we're gonna wait for another minute for everyone else to join in, and then we can start today's webinar. In the meantime, let me pull up TradingView. Okay, cool. I think that should be everyone. Okay, hi, um, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar brought to you by IronFX. I'm really excited that you're here with me. I don't know how long you guys have been trading for. I think Salvador was saying yesterday that it's been 5 years. Kelly, I'm not sure how long you've been trading for. The rest of you, Brian, Josh, Muhammad, I think Jamilu's not in yet. Jensen, Mulia, Blaze. Hello, Jamilu, welcome. Chin, Sean. Hi, hi, welcome everyone. Okay, I don't know about the rest of you, but I do want to get to know the rest of you. So let me know in the chat box how long you guys have been trading for, how trading is treating you. If you're profitable, if you're not profitable, just let me know in the chat box. I want this webinar to be a little bit more interactive. Okay, so before we dive in, as usual, I need to go through the disclaimer. It's really important so that you guys do not take this as a signals group. You guys do not take this as any kind of financial or investment advice. This is not any kind of that kind of advice. This is purely educational, okay? I know today is breaking news and live setup. So basically we're gonna go to the charts and look at some breaking news. We're gonna look at some breaking news and then we're gonna go to the charts and look at some setups, but do not take this as a signals group. I am basically showing you how I usually would trade, okay? Everyone good? Okay, cool. Moving on. Okay, so before we continue, for those who don't already know me, my name is Cassandra. You can call me Cass. I'm an investment analyst at Rocket, also a prop trader. Okay. So basically here at Rocket, we specialize a lot in like equity and Forex research, and we've been recognized as one of the top research firms in several years running now. Hi Phoebe, welcome back. Our team is highly trained in trading and investments. We also follow the markets very deeply. We do a lot of like research, back testing, and data analysis, and we often write the very material you can probably find online. Okay, so as for me, for prop trading, I have successfully passed 3 in total prop firm evaluation. You can see here that I'm managing a $300,000 USD personal account. These are all prop funded accounts. That means that I passed the test and then the prop firms fund me. I'm not actually even trading with my own funds. So there's zero risk for me. But to even get to this point, you need to pass the test. You need to do 10% in profits within a month without having a drawdown of 5%. 5% or 10%? I think it's 5% within a day and 10% within a month. If you draw down 5 to 10% within the month or a day, you immediately they immediately take the funds back. Okay, so whatever I make profits from these funds, I get 90% profit sharing from the companies. Okay, so I'm telling you guys this so that you guys know that you guys are in good hands. I am a professional trader. I have been trading for many years, and I specialize in technical analysis. So I hope you guys, take something off this webinar. So thank you very much. I'm learning a lot from you, and you inspire me not to give up on trading, Forrest. Thank you. That's very encouraging. But I do think you can be successful in trading, but discipline is key. But then again, we're talking about discipline. If you're not disciplined in any area of your life, it doesn't have to be like trading, right? It can be like business, it can be your job, it can be going to the gym. You're not gonna see success anyways. Okay, so discipline is the key. Unfortunately, I don't like being disciplined either. I want to be sloppy, but and that's how you become successful in anything. Okay, so we're gonna do breaking news today. I'll show you how the news impacts the market, what to look out for and what to avoid, getting trapped by volatility. After that, we're gonna dive into some setups and hopefully we find something. But again, do not take this as a signals group, okay? Hello, Isaac, welcome. Agenda for today, trade the markets live with a professional trader, which is me. Key fundamentals to watch out for the week. Identify high probabilities trading setups. Requests for any instrument you guys want to look at. And yeah, that's basically it. Breaking news. Okay, so for those who joined, hello Cleon, welcome back. For those who joined my webinar yesterday, we were briefly talking about EUR/USD. I did not get in on the EUR/USD. I forgot to tell you why I wasn't going to get in. Hi Blaze, welcome. The reason why I think one of you asked me yesterday is like, if EUR/USD goes back to my entry zone, am I gonna get in for a sell? The answer is no, I'm not gonna get in for a sell, because if EUR/USD even pulls back to that zone, it just means that the selling pressure is not there. So therefore, I shouldn't get in for a sell because price is pushing upwards. And true enough, I think yesterday EUR/USD shot up, especially after the news. So one thing you guys should take note of if you are trading, whether you are a day trader, scalper, or swing. Okay, if you're a swing trader, it doesn't really apply to you. It doesn't really matter, right? But if you are a day trader or a scalper, you should look at the economic calendar and know whether news is coming out. So yesterday, I was just briefly yeah. So Salvador is right. CPI shot EUR up yesterday. So imagine yesterday I got in for a sell and then EUR went up. My stop loss would have hit, but I mean, it doesn't matter. My stop loss is always 1%. 1% is basically, I don't usually feel 1%, but yes. My point is you need to look at the economic calendar so that you do not get shocked. Okay, you do not get shocked. Oh, but that being said, remember yesterday I said I was in a USD CAD. It actually shot to my take profit. It eventually shot to my take profit because of the news. Okay, so do take off of the news. I was watching EUR/USD yesterday because I was contemplating whether I should get in for that short, and then I waited and waited and waited, and suddenly news came out and it just shot up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't go in. Okay, so breaking news. News to look out for is FOMC, NFPs, employment reports, unemployment claims, CPI and PPI, ISM and S&P global reports and growth. These are the ones that are usually affecting like US dollars and Forex. Okay, so I'm just listing out like the major ones. If you go into like the economic calendar, you see like a lot of like not very important stuff like new loans. I don't know if you guys can see this new loans or like BOC press conference or prelim UM consumer sentiment. These are like it's good to take note, but it's not that important. The more important ones are the one that I just spoke about. So when you're talking about short to medium effect, short to medium meaning that we're talking about scalpers and like day traders, you're gonna look at employment change, retail sales, and purchasing, PMI and ISM and S&P Global. Medium to long-term effect, although it doesn't really affect swing traders, I just you should still maybe just keep an eye or just take note. GDP and CPI and FOMC meeting. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys what I do see this week or rather yesterday. So the market summary for today is that the US dollar has a little bit of weakness because the dollar flattened across major currency pairs as market increased bets on Federal Reserve rates cut on September. So concurrently, ongoing trade uncertainty for the US dollar and especially around the vague US-China framework and the looming July tariff deadline. Okay, so Asia Pacific, the US dollar is still weakened. So if you're doing anything US dollar, just take note that DXY should be dropping. Yesterday's breakout EUR USD, the euro, like Salvador was saying, CPI shot the euro up, so that's one of the news. Other than that, I don't really see any other very impactful news updates. I do think that the weak dollar is going to fuel the euro, it's going to fuel the Japanese yen, and it's going to fuel CHF. Okay, other than that, I don't really see anything to look out for, right? Okay, cool. So major key takeaway is that US dollar is dropping and everything else, not everything else, but euro should be going up, JPY should be going up, and CHF should be going up. Okay, so trading the market side for a professional, take note of this for those who have not taken note. I know I said that I will give you my updated list, but this is the list that we use in other research firm that I'm from, Rocket or Everest Fortune Group. Okay, so we use this list to look for setups, but my own personal list is slightly different because my list, I use Ichimoku Cloud and I also use Smart Money to trade now, okay? But this is the list that um, the research firm uses, and it also can find you profitable trades. It's just that I have tweaked it a little bit to my own liking. Okay, hi Danjuma, welcome, welcome. Okay, cool. So Fibonacci, you guys should be using this in your trading. Other than that, let's move on to the live charts. Thank you for sitting through the introduction and disclaimer one last time before we head into the live charts. Do not take this as a signals group, okay? I am going to do analysis on the live charts, but please do not take it as a signal to get in or get out of the market. I am merely showing you my style of trading, okay? My style of trading may not be the correct style of trading for you, okay? Just take note, even I get it wrong. So last week, I had a total of 0.5% profits for the entire week. I took 2 trades. My first trade made 1% loss. It hit my stop loss. And my second trade made 1.5% profit. So at the end of the day, I only made 0.5%. The point of telling you this is so that you know that I get it wrong as well. My stop loss do get triggered once in a while. So I'm not correct all the time, but I'm correct enough to be profitable. Okay, so let me pull this out. Okay, I've got EUR USD on. Oh, holy moly! I am so glad I did not get in on that sell yesterday. That would have been crazy. Okay. Let's pull out a few charts. So duplicate. I'm gonna duplicate a few charts. Let me know in the chat box what you want to look at. I'm gonna just put the favorites. I know these are your favorites. So USD, gold, XAU USD. Let's do USD CAD. This was one that made me a bit of profit. So this week I am actually, let me see, I'm actually 2% in profit. Yeah, I am so far 2% in profit because the USD CAD that I took yesterday eventually went to my take profit. It almost triggered my stop loss. I was looking at it, but I moved my stop loss. So initially I had put my stop loss at entry. I put my stop loss at entry, and then that means that if price went back to my stop loss, that I would still be in profit. But I looked at the charts and then there was news. So I decided to move my stop loss to 1%, which is the original position. So I ended up taking profit at 2%. So currently I am 2% in profit for the week. Hopefully we can find something and then, get more going on. Okay, so USD JPY. I mean, based on news, we are already biased that anything USD is going to drop. Okay, so USD JPY is gonna be a short, USD CAD is gonna be a short, EUR USD is gonna be a long. Okay, this is just based on the news. Okay, this is just based on the news. Do you guys also want to look at US? Oh, yes. Okay, so someone already requested USD CHF. We've got the Swiss franc. I'm gonna put everything on the 4 hours and then we'll slowly work our way down. Okay, cool. I think that's everything. So for the next 45 minutes, let's focus on these 5 charts. Okay, so much pressure. I have 9 minutes for every chart. Okay, let's start with URUSD. So based on news alone, I'm already biased that DXY is bearish. Okay, so this is going to be the same for all. Okay, why am I putting this here? Because every time we get in and out of the market, I need to have a reason, okay? So that later when I come back and look at my trade and see what went wrong, I can reference my reasoning and then I'll be like, okay, yeah, this reasoning did not make sense. But at the point of time when I was doing the analysis, it made sense. So for the first reason, we know, because we went through the news just now and we know that DXY is bearish, okay? Just to double confirm, let's just pull out DXY. DXY is basically the US dollar. Yes, this is, oh, sorry, we're under 1 minute. Very bearish. I mean, it's reaching a support, but I do still think it's bearish, right? Reaching a support. It needs to break this support to continue the bearishness, but news is currently showing bearishness, so we'll just go with that for now. We'll just stick with DXY being bearish. Okay, so that is the first information that we have on hand. We are going to, okay, so we're going to use that information that we have. So, hi, Janelle, welcome to the webinar. For those who are new here, just know that I always say this, and it is something you need to keep in mind. Everything to do with trading is not emotional. It is all factual and logical. So we are going to collect data and collect facts, and then we are only going to make our move based on the facts and the data we have collected. So far, based on the news, DXY is bearish. Based on even not just a news, technical analysis, higher highs, just trend alone, we can see that DXY is bearish. Okay, so we're gonna stick with this information and make our decision based on this information for now until we find other things that will tell us otherwise. Okay, so let's start with URUSD. Obviously, I am bullish for this. I have always been bullish. It's just that sometimes I play the sell even though I'm bullish because I sometimes feel adventurous and want to go against trend. More like because I'm so late. It's so boring to wait for entry, right? So sometimes you want to play the sell. Okay, so if we're looking at channels, again, let me pull out that thingy. You're a rebel, Cass. We should not be rebelling. Rebelling in trading will not, oh, sorry, will not be good for you. Sorry. Give me a sec. I need to pull out my checklist. Okay, so don't worry. I know you guys are like, oh no, she's not gonna have time to go through all the charts. Do you know it only takes me 5 minutes to chart a single chart? It took me 8 years to get to this point where I look at a chart and I can chart everything in 5 minutes. But sometimes during this webinar, I take slower because I need to explain what's going on. But otherwise, when I'm charting myself, it actually only takes me 5 minutes. Okay, cool. So I'm going to put this at the side so that those who are new here know what I'm doing. So based on this checklist, oh my goodness. Based on this checklist, we're going to look at trend lines and channels. We already identified that. We're now going to look at horizontal levels. And then based on this checklist, it's death and golden crosses and natural moving averages. I personally do not use moving averages. I also do not use death and golden crosses, which is basically a moving average. I do use stochastic and RSI. Like we're looking at this list, right? I do use stochastic and RSI, and sometimes I use correlation. So correlation is basically correlating your information with the news, correlating your information with DXY. So like EUR USD, I'm looking at DXY to see if my analysis is correct. And let me see. So the other things is for reversal and breakouts, I use Fibonacci levels, which we learned yesterday. Okay, so based on this checklist, we're just gonna follow this checklist, and then that's how we come up with our analysis. It's so fast. If you have a checklist, you can come up with an analysis really quickly. I can chart so many charts in like an hour. You guys have no idea. Okay. Okay, so I've already got my trend. I'm now gonna pull up horizontal levels. Horizontal levels. I'm gonna use this. Okay, but one thing I actually prefer using is actually a zone rather than a single line, because support and resistance is always a zone. Okay, so I personally would want to see more support and resistance. It's just that we're on the 4 hours and I don't really see anything nearby. I need to like scroll to the past. So because of this reason, I'm gonna go to, my goodness, where is it? I'm gonna go to the daily just to see if I can see anything nearby. Nope, nothing nearby. The last information was 2022, which was 3 years ago. Price has not come to this area in 3 years. That's how crazy this is. Okay, next zone. We need the next zone because if not, I don't know where's the take profit. Okay, I have to pull out the weekly because this is a fast stretch, to be honest. This is a very fast stretch. I'm gonna use this swing low here as the next zone because this is the closest thing I can find to price. Okay, I'm just gonna use this swing low so that if we are gonna buy, I need to know where to get out. Like, we cannot just buy and then not know where to get out. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the 4 hours. That's the closest thing I can find. I cannot find anything closer than that. Okay, so because price was moving in that parallel channel, right? What ideally I would love to see happen, okay, I would really love to see happen is price coming down here somewhere along this line so that we can get in for a buy here. I do not like to play the breakout. I really do not like to play the breakout because it, like, structurally, it's very hard to, like, next zone, and then, like, I need to find the next zone, and the next zone was like this green line was like few years ago. I do not want to play this breakout. Ideally, I want to playing this channel. That's the best case scenario. But I mean, obviously, we cannot force the market to move to our liking. So I'm gonna do two analysis. The first one is when it does a pullback, and the second one if it does a breakout. I'm hoping the breakout doesn't happen. If it's a breakout, I choose not to play it. Okay, I choose to observe and not get into the market. I just don't know why I suck at breakouts. Okay, you know what? I have not put in the time to go and figure out breakouts, but I'm very good at reversals. Okay, so if it's a reversal, I now need to look for support resistance. Okay, here and then here. And one here, I think. Here. Okay, if price pulls back, I want to get in for the buy at one of this area. Okay, I want to get in for the buy at one of this area. I do not know where, so now I start eliminating. Okay, how do I eliminate? I need to know which one is the most probable area that price will go to. Would you wait until it pulls back down to the entry zone, or will you try to scalp in a very small time frame? I will wait until, okay, so I'll give you an example. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say I have identified this zone here. Okay, I've identified this swing high here. I want to get in here for a sell. Okay, so price is now at my zone. I now go down to the smaller time frame to look for reversal pattern candlesticks, to look for some kind of reversal pattern to give me the green light to get in. Okay, that's how I use. I mean, there's one here, there's one here. I think this is spinning. This is, yeah, this is a reversal pattern candlestick. Okay, there's one here. This is also, what do you call it? That three red, white soldier. That's also a form of reversal pattern candlestick. So I will usually go down to a small time frame to try to get in if I'm looking at the charts. Remember, guys, my lifestyle doesn't allow me to keep looking at the charts. Okay, I have two toddlers. I have two kids under 2 years old. It's a circus in my house. Okay, so I don't have time to go and look for reversal pattern candlesticks. So usually I will just put my sell order, buy order in a zone somewhere. And then from there, I just hope for the best. Okay, but if you have time, I strongly encourage you guys to look for reversal pattern candlesticks because that is your last line of defense of getting it right? Because if there are times like, okay, right now I want to get in for a sell, right? But the reversal pattern candlestick didn't appear. So it keeps ranging, keep ranging. It still doesn't appear. The next candle is just a freaking big green candle and it breaks out. And then you're screwed. So the best case is you wait for reversal pattern candlestick so that you did the best that you can. You waited patiently. And that's the best case scenario. Honestly, this looks like a really good sell, man. Okay, if I am feeling adventurous, I might consider getting in a sell. Why do I say if I'm feeling adventurous? Because there is a possibility price will not reverse from here. There is a possibility price will break out and continue up because of the current bullish momentum. I'm just hoping it reverses. If it reverses, I want to get in here for a buy. I'm just thinking that if it reverses, do I want to play the sell here? Just know that if you play the sell, it is risky because price might reverse. Okay, so to not play risky games, let's look for a buy entry instead of a sell entry. Okay, to not play risky games, let's look for a buy entry. So there's gonna be two buy entries. The first one is gonna be the pullback. The second one is going to be the breakout. Okay, I hope it's the pullback. If it's the pullback, technically you can get in for a sell, but you know, you are going against the trend, you are going against wave, you are playing a dangerous game. Okay, so where is price gonna pull back to? I have 3 zones. I now need to play the elimination game. Let's pull out Fibonacci. I am going to take this swing low here, pull it to the swing high. You guys, why is the settings not coming up? Why is the settings not appearing? There's something wrong with my charts. What in the world? Why is my settings not appearing? Am I on the other screen? It's not on the, you know what? What is going on? My camera's not working. My settings for Fibonacci do not want to appear. What the? Let me try on a different chart. Oops. What? On this chart as well? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How am I going to do analysis if I cannot pull out? What is going on? Okay, guys, give me a moment. I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna just cancel everything. Oh my gosh, please work. Oh, okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, so swing high to swing low. The 2 things that I see is a Fibonacci extension. Okay, I am assuming this is going to be the end. Okay, so my analysis is based on the assumption that this is going to be the end. This is a Fibonacci extension. The other thing I'm seeing is a Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so I am just doing analysis based on assumption that price is going to stop here. If price continues to move up, I need to change my Fibonacci levels. Okay, so first thing first is 127.2, lining up very nicely at this green, the 3rd option. Second thing is 23, nope, 38, nope, 50%, nope, 61.8, okay, 61.8%. Okay, so 61.8% and Fibonacci extension. Getting rid of this. Let me see if I can pull out more things. Getting rid of this. Yeah, it looks like so far right now, it looks like it's going to be this first one. So it's going to be this first, second, or third. We're just doing the elimination game. I know, I have a feeling it's going to be one of it. Yeah, just give me a sec. I'm going to try to pull out more. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try to pull out more Fibonacci levels. So what I'm doing is taking this area here to try to project down to see if I can get more levels. Okay, pulling out 23, 38, 50%, 61, 78. Okay, nothing is signing up. I have a friend who is in this trade, URUSD for a sell. He got in here. He did not use a stop loss and price is here. If price breaks out here, he is so screwed. His account is like $300,000. It's so crazy. I don't know why people do stuff like that. He texted me yesterday like, oh, what do you think URUSD is going to do? I'm like, it's definitely going up. What are you talking about? Do you not see it going up? Okay. Okay, hoping it pulls back. If it pulls back, my friend has a chance to get out at entry. If it doesn't pull back, my friend is screwed. Okay, so if it pulls back and doesn't do a breakout, I'm thinking it's not going to be the second level. I'm going to get rid of the second one. Actually, no, I'm not going to get rid of the second one. I'm going to get rid of this third one. I think this third one is a far-fetch. I know it. I think it's going to be one of this. Now I pull out the other stuff. Yeah, it could still be either one of it. Because price can come in, you can come here and bounce, which respects the cloud, and it can come here and still bounce and still respect the cloud. Remember, for Ichimoku, the cloud is a form of support and resistance. Okay, so this is a form of support and resistance. So it could be either one of this. If price pulls back to one of this, I will be considering a buy. I just need to figure out, is it going to come to one or is it going to come to two? Okay, let me think of other things. I honestly think it's gonna be one, okay, because I now am maybe the start of the channel. Yeah, I am hoping sorry, I'm thinking it's gonna be number two. I'm thinking it's gonna be number two because the first thing first, it's gonna align very nicely with the channel. But you know the thing about trading, it never works so beautifully. Never ever does trading work so beautifully, but the best case is that it comes and align nicely with this channel. Okay, so it pulls back to 1.136 area. And the other thing is why I choose two rather than one is because I'm doing a lot of ICT method, which is inner circle trader, which is basically smart money. So the thing about smart money is they like to pull back to swing lows. Right? They like to pull back to swing lows. Let me go down to the 1 hour to see the structure. Okay, I take it back. Give me a moment to... Nope, I do not want this one. I want this one. Okay. I think the zone is it's gonna be the first zone. But I'm gonna widen the first zone. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of this second zone. I think it's this first zone because based on the 1 hour, technically this is the swing low. There's a swing low. So the thing about ICT method or like smart money is that price tends to pull back to swing lows. Okay, it tends to pull back to swing lows or it tends to pull back to swing highs. Okay, so if it pulls back to this area here, there's no swing low or swing high. There's a swing high, but when it's pulling downwards, it's pulling back to swing lows. If it's pulling back upwards, it's pulling back to swing highs. So based on the ICT method, I am more inclined to believe that it's going to pull back to this swing low here rather than the swing high. Okay, so I'm aiming for it to come to this 78% zone. So if price pulls back, I'm going to get in for a buy here. So I don't know what USD is gonna do, right? Because I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what it's gonna do. There's two things it's gonna do. It's either going to break out from this and continue up depending on the buying pressure, or the other thing is the buying pressure is going to relax for a while and then it's gonna pull back. Once it pulls back, I'm gonna look for my buy entry at the pullback, right? So I know I have a feeling it's going to pull back to this pink zone. I just don't know whether it's here or here. I'm more inclined to believe that it's here because this is where the last swing low was. Okay, this is where the last swing low was. Price usually likes to pull back to the last swing low. This is based on ICT method. This is why my cheat sheet is a little bit different from the Everest Fortune Group's cheat sheet because Everest Fortune Group does not implement ICT in their trading style. yeah, they implement a lot of like technical analysis, but I have noticed that when I implement ICT in my trading style, my entry and my stop loss has become very, very, very precise. I showed you guys a few times where I got in right at the top, right? Yep. And this is exactly it's very, it will need to break this cup. So that's the one thing I'm not very happy about. But if you go to 4 hours and we pull out the cloud, coming back to this lower zone would still respect. Okay, so what I'm saying is that if price pulls back, it's gonna come to this pink zone. It's either going to bounce off number 1 or number 2. I just think that it's more likely gonna bounce off number 2 based on ICT method, but there is still a chance it will bounce off number 1. Okay, so when price is coming to this zone, I am going to look for a reversal pattern candlestick. If I don't have time, usually I just put a sell or buy order. Most of the time, I don't have time. Yeah, I usually would just put my buy order here immediately. But because I am aiming for the lower end, because 1 and 2, right, I'm aiming for the lower end, there is a possibility I won't even get into this trade because I'm putting a buy order. There's a chance that price may come here and just bounce somewhere within this pink zone and then just bounce, right? There's a chance it might not reach to level 2, but I'm more biased of it reaching level 2, so I'm going to put my entry at level 2, more specifically in this pink, in this, let me show you guys. In this blue, I'm gonna change it to blue, in this blue box, okay? Why? Because I'm taking this last candle here. I'm taking the body of this last candle. Okay, so this is where I'm going to put my buy order. Yeah, so this is what I think is going to happen for URUSD if it does not break out. If it does not break out, it's going to pull back to here, and then I'm going to look for buy order there. If it break out, then I'm not going to play the breakout. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at breakouts. I need to admit where I am bad at something. I do not want to risk my account. You can play the breakout if you want to. Breakout, basically the rule is that breakout, pull back, retest, and then you go in for the buy. Okay, just for some reason, I cannot time the entry, or maybe because I haven't been focusing on it, but yes, I want to play the pullback instead. Why you should not get in for a sell here? Because there's a chance of a breakout. You can get in a sell. If you are correct, this is going to be a really beautiful trade. Because you get in a sell here, your stop loss is going to be somewhere around here, and then you're going to play it until here. This is going to end up being like a very, like, I'm talking about like 1 to, yeah, a 1 to 7 trade. You're risking 1% to make 7%. So let's say you get into this trade, it ends up being correct. This sell ends up being correct. You're risking, you are gonna end up 7% in profit for the week just based on one trade. Hey, this is gonna be a very beautiful sell. I just advise against it because there's a chance of a breakout and because we're going against trend. Price is clearly going upwards right now. If you sell in an upwards market, you are going against trend. So you know what? You know, it's very tempting, very, very tempting. If I were to get in, I will get in half my risk. So usually I risk 1%. I'll probably end up risking 0.5% if I end up being greedy and getting in for the sell. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys for URUSD. URUSD, my buy will be here. This will be my entry. Buy entry somewhere around here. My sell, stop loss somewhere around here. Take profit will be back. Okay, just here, this last swing high here, just to be very conservative. It looks like a very healthy, like 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Okay, 1 to 3 trade. Yeah, 1 to 3 trade. So 1% to 3%, not amazing, but it's not too shabby, to be honest. 1 to 3 is a good trade. Okay, but because we need to wait for price to pull back to this area, it will probably take It's not going to be this week. I can tell you that for sure. It's going to be like next week. This is a trade for next week. That's the problem when you're charting on a 4 hours, and that's the problem when you're doing ICT because I'm not scalping. Okay, next chart. I have 15 minutes more. The next few charts, I'm not gonna explain so much. I'm just gonna go, 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 go. If you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, the EUR USD should have explained a lot to you guys. So USD CAT, XAU USD, USD JPY, and USD CHF. Just gonna do very fast analysis on each. Okay, so start with I don't really start with the daily bearish, 4 hours bearish. Now pull out support resistance at a support right now. Resistance is here. Another one, same layout as EUR/USD. I want to wait for the pullback. Pullback to here at least. Then I can consider getting in for a sell. Sell either here or here. And I play it back to this swing low. The other thing that's going to happen is it's going to break out, pull back, then you continue with the sell here. I do not like playing breakouts. I've been trading for 8 years. I just do not like playing breakouts. If you guys are good at breakouts, go ahead and play the breakout. I personally want to wait for price to pull back. Okay, so 1 and 2, where do I think it's going to pull back to? Most likely it's going to be 1. Looks like it's going to be 1. Yep, high trend is going to be 1. I'm going to pull this. Nothing. Nothing. Okay, instead of trying to find a exact point, what I'm gonna do is give this a zone. This is the zone of entry where I think the sell is going to happen. When price gets here, that's where I start redoing my analysis, whereas I probably can go down to a smaller time frame to look for more precise entry, but this is basically the sell zone of interest, the interest zone of where I'm going to look for a sell. If it breaks out, then I'm out. I'm not playing this. Okay, but ideally what I want to see happen is, where is it? Is this, and then when it gets back here, I get in for a sell. You can consider the buy here if you are feeling adventurous. Again, I never, ever, ever recommend going against trend. The only time I do it is when I'm bored. Okay, next. XAU USD. XAU USD is always going to be bullish on the bigger time frame. Anytime it is bearish, it's actually just a very slight pullback, but you can just keep pulling it back. See from 2024, it's just bullish, okay? I can pull back, pull back. It's always going to be bullish for gold. Okay, gold prices can only go up. The question is, where do you get in for the buy? The best case is you wait for the pullback, like this case, pulls back here, you get in for a buy here when it pulls back, and then you continue to play the buy. Okay, so that's swing trading. Let's look at, I never ever dare to short gold, ever. Well, as long as I've been trading, I've always just been buying gold. I always wait for the pullback and then I buy. triangle. Gold is always doing a triangle. For years, I've been charting this chart, and for years, it's been doing a triangle. Okay, so usual pattern for gold. I want to look for a buy, but at a pullback area. Where is it going to pull back to? This is why I don't trade gold anymore. Give me a sec. It could actually just pull back to this last swing low here. Yeah. It could pull back to this last swing low, and that's where I can consider a buy. Other than that, I don't really want to touch gold. I do not want to play the sell for gold. Yeah, I don't really want to play the sell for gold. Give me a sec. Okay. I think gold is gonna move, do whatever it wants to do, but eventually it's gonna come to this buy entry. Eventually. I don't know when, but it's not gonna be today, that's for sure. Actually, there might be a there might be a sell possibility. Okay, so the thing about gold, like, even though it's always moving in an upwards pattern, it's very, very zigzag. There's a lot of like pullbacks happening there's a lot of movement happening for gold on a daily basis. The only time I will consider a sell for gold if it reaches one of these swing highs. These are the only time I'll consider, but for gold, I prefer playing the buy. I prefer playing the buy. I have actually, so you guys know I'm a prop trader, right? I've actually passed one of my tests where I did 10%. I passed the entire test in one trade, and it was because I bought gold. So I pinpoint the exact location it was going to turn. I got in for a buy. My stop loss was super, super duper tight. And then I played 10 points up and I made 10% and I passed the test and I was funded $100,000. Yeah. So I have good experience with gold, but I only buy gold. I've never sold gold before. So again, the only time I'll consider selling gold, if it pulls back to this zone, then I'll think about it. But other than that, nothing much for gold. Okay, next USD JPY. Need to find the trend first. Not not doing so good. It's doing a triangle. USD JPY doing a triangle. Anytime a chart is doing a triangle, it means that there's uncertainty. Let me see. Bigger time frame, it is on a downtrend. It's just that on the smaller time frame, it is doing a triangle. Still biased for a sell though. Still biased for a sell. Okay, sell entry for USD JPY. Need to identify all the swing highs. Swing highs. And swing lows. Swing lows will be my take profit. This might be the only trade that will happen this week. But the rest looks like it's not gonna happen. Okay, cool. Sell entry and my stop loss will either be depending on where I get in. Okay, sorry, I'm not gonna play this one. I'm not gonna do this because based on ICT, Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about ICT. So ICT, anytime there is a support or resistance that has been there for a while, you guys can see how there's a support and resistance that has been there for a while. Price, see, price came here 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. On the 7th time, it finally broke this zone. On the 7th time, it broke this zone. So the thing about ICT is, which is smart money trading, anytime it breaks the zone, people think that the breakout will happen here. People think that the breakout will happen here. So they put their entry here, they put their stop loss slightly above this, and then more often than not, their stop loss will be triggered. After the stop loss is triggered, it tends to U-turn to your take profit. Okay, that's why I don't like to play the breakout, because a lot of time the breakout's entry isn't that great. Okay, so based on ICT, what this area is called an inducement. Okay, this is an inducement zone. Inducement zone is the zone that tricks retail traders to get in for the sell. Okay, so retail traders are all going to get in here because they think that this is a good zone. Okay, I used to do this as well. I used to get stopped out a lot as well. But then the smart money people, which is the bank, the institutions, they will purposely aim to get into the next higher zone, which is this zone. So actually the real entry will end up being somewhere between here to here. Why is it so huge? Because I'm basically taking this candle. You see this candle, this red candle, that's the highest point. I'm taking the entire body of the candle. That is going to be where price is most likely going to pull back to. And then from there, it's going to U-turn. It's not this area. This inducement, which is this area to trick people to get in, is what smart money does all the time, so that we get liquidated, so that retail traders get liquidated, and then they it goes in that direction. Okay, so do not get tricked. It's gonna come here based on smart money and ICT method. It's gonna come here. People are gonna get in here for a sell. It's gonna move down a little bit, and then all the retail traders are gonna be like, "Yay, I'm correct. Price is going my way." And then it's gonna come and spike, taking out your stop loss. And then after it takes out your stop loss, takes out all the liquidity, it will continue in your take profit. Does that sound familiar? This happens to me so much in the past. There is no way. Does that sound familiar to you guys? If you guys have been trading a while, this should have happened to you a few times, right? Where price pulls back to your take profit, and then it makes a U-turn to pulls back to your stop loss, and then it makes a U-turn to your take profit because of this inducement zone. Sorry, I spelled inducement wrong, but yes, you get my point. So I think it's gonna pull back somewhere along this box. And then that's where, yes, happens all the time. It's so annoying. It's done on purpose. It's done on purpose. So the real entry is somewhere along this blue box, and your stop loss should actually be above this this box instead. I just do not like that this red candle is so long. Usually if the candle is a bit shorter, we can narrow down the entry better. Okay, so then where in this giant box do we get in? That's where you pull out Fibonacci to narrow down your entry. So you get this swing high, you pull it to the swing low. I do not know if price has ended. If price has ended, then you just pull it to your swing low, and then it will plot out all the levels, and then that's where you can narrow down your prices. But I think the sell will be somewhere around here. Okay, do not get tricked. Okay, this is a trick. This is a trick, guys. Do not get tricked into this inducement zone. For those who don't know, like what this, yeah. See, so you basically find possible entries, and then you eliminate where you think the entries are going to be. This is a trick. Retail traders have not mastered this. A lot of retail traders have not mastered inducement zones. That's why they always get stopped out. You need to master inducement. I promise you, your trade will become so good. Like, you guys don't understand. I became so profitable after I learned to identify inducement zone. Hey, do not get in here. This is a trick. This is a trick. So basically the entry is here somewhere. Your stop loss should be here. Take profit. I'm still going to keep it here. This will give you a very, very good, we're talking about a 1 to 7, I think. It looks like a very good one. Okay, if you're putting your stop loss just slightly around here, and then let's say you get it at the highest point, the best possible entry, you're looking at 1 to 13, 1 to 10, 1 to 9, 1 to 7. I'm just putting it somewhere in the middle, okay? Somewhere in the middle here. Okay, we're looking at 1 to 5%. This is how I get such good risk to reward ratio trades. I get very, very good risk to ratio. I know people who take like 100 trades a week. I take one trade, and at the end of the day, my P&L, my profit and loss, like my profit is the same as them, because one trade that I take gives me a lot of profit. Like my stop loss will always be 1%. It's always going to be 1%, but my take profit is huge. Okay, so please master inducement. Yeah, it's a wide topic. Even if I do this, I teach you guys this in a webinar, I won't be able to like cover it. It is a wide topic. I read so much and I watched so many videos on it before I finally mastered it. But if you master it, I promise you, you will start seeing a lot of good trades. Okay, CHF, obviously we are thinking it's a sell because DXY is dropping, and also charts are showing that it is sell. Yep, breakout, moving in a very nice downwards trend. Broke out here. Again, this breakout is the inducement zone. Do not get tricked. It's going to pull back. People are gonna, all the retail traders are gonna get in here for the entry. They're like, oh, okay, it's at a sub resistance. I'm gonna get in here, and then they're gonna get stopped out. It's going to happen. This is why I don't play the breakout. I hate playing the breakout because of this reason. Inducement happens all the time. The next level it's going to pull back to is here. Based on in ICT trading, price likes to come to this area where there's a lot of times, but then the banks will be like, oh, now the retail traders think that it's going to be here. Now they think it's going to be here. It's not. The real entry is going to be here. Very far-fetched. I know you're looking at it and you're like, wait, that's so far away. Yes. Most likely it's going to be here. So inducement, which zone? It usually ends up being the furthest zone. Okay, it usually ends up being the furthest zone. Okay, so I think USD CHF is a sell. If you're playing the 4 hours chart, you're gonna have to wait a long time for it to reach here. So let's go down to the 1 hours to see if I can find a closer entry. Give me a sec. Go back. Okay, this is a good one, actually. This is an okay one. Do you guys see the swing high here? It's not very obvious, but it's there. Okay. So it's basically chart is doing this. It's doing this, this, and then this, right? Based on ICT trading and Forex, ICT and smart money, price is most likely going to pull back to this zone here. Okay, I see this happening. Yeah, I'm happy with this zone, to be honest. It's just that it's going to take a while for price to pull back. It's not going to be today. If you want to, it could pull back here and continue down, but I mean, I've been reading a lot on ICT so much. I know this is the inducement zone. I know this is a fake zone. People are going to get in here and entry and then going to get stopped out. the most likely entry is going to be here. Okay, so if price pulls back to this area, I'm going to get in here for a sell. Where am I going to sell it to? I'm going to sell it back to the swing low, wherever price stops. So this trade is also not today. The reason why all my setups are not today is because I'm not going against trend. If you are looking at, oh, look at this. This is why you do not sell. This is why you do not go against trend. Do you see that? Price is trying to break this zone. Imagine I was like feeling adventurous. I'm like, okay, let's sell. Let's go against trend. Let's try to play this sell. And it's freaking breaking the zone right now. You're gonna get stopped out. Okay, so the reason why all my trades are not right now is because price has already made the move. I need to wait for the pullback. Okay, I need to wait for the pullback. I know some of you must be like, but why can't I just get in here for the buy? You can get in here for the buy if you want to. You want to, but you are going against trend. It is a dangerous game. If you get in for a buy and it ends up breaking out further, I cannot help you, bro. I cannot help you. Okay, so we do not go against trend. We just wait for the pullback. Okay, we just wait for the pullback. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. Sorry, none of the trades look like it's going to happen anytime soon. But I can assure you, my trades don't usually happen today. But when it does happen, it usually works out. Most of the time, it works out. Do not be tricked, okay? This is an inducement zone. Do not, like, you come back later in a few hours and you're like, oh my gosh, price is at a resistance. Do not be tricked. I'm telling you right now, for someone who spends so much time studying smart money, you are gonna get stopped out if you get in here. Okay? It's gonna do this. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys got something out of my webinar. Also, why my trades are all not right now, it's because we're looking at the 4 hours. Okay. You know what? I realized a lot of my trades are like very far from entry. Maybe the next webinar, the next time you see me, I'm gonna start looking at the 1 hour and the 15 minutes. Okay. Because I'm like, oh my gosh. This is like, even for me, sometimes I look at I make an analysis and I'm just like, this is taking forever. You know, last week, or was it the week before, I did an analysis on Monday and it took Thursday for price to finally reach my entry. I'm just like, I waited 3 days for my entry. I mean, the good news is my trade worked out, but the waiting is crazy. So maybe the next time you guys see me, I'll chart on the 1 hour instead so that we can get a closer entry and a closer take profit. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. Take care, guys. Happy trading. Stay safe. Do not risk anything. Regards to your two thoughts, thank you so much. They are at the playground right now. Every time I'm doing these webinars for you guys, I send them to the playground with my nannies, with their nannies. Okay, so thank you guys. I will see you guys in a week. I hope you guys have good trading. Please, please, please do not overtrade. Please do not take trade. Please do not revenge trade. It is not worth it. Trust me. I'd rather you stay out and go and watch TV. Go and watch Netflix. Go hang out with your friends. Go to the spa. Go finish a puzzle. I'd rather you do that than take trades that you're not supposed to be taking. Because if you take trades you're not supposed to be taking, then you're gonna end up with losses. If you stay out of the market, at least that's one less loss. Okay? That's all I have for you guys today. Okay, bye, take care. See you guys again soon.